one thing she did. After a 28-year-old pedophile raped an 11-year-old girl, the girl's mother reported her daughter's horrific abuse to the police. However, instead of jailing the child predator, a liberal judge not only refused to charge him with rape but outrageously blamed the child victim because of one thing she did during the heinous attack. As liberalism prevails in the West, the policies that looked appealing on the outside are found to have poisonous roots that further an oppressive and barbaric agenda. The left has always sympathized with criminals, which has given way to justice being denied to their victims. While the left pushes for the acceptance of all types of sexual preferences to appease their obsession with sex, we begin to see morals and logic eroding in our justice system. When an 11-year-old girl was groomed and raped by a 28-year-old pedophile, who remains unnamed per the court's ruling, in a Paris suburb on April 24, the child's mother immediately took her daughter to the police to have the sex offender arrested. This week, it has emerged that the man was acquitted of a rape charge because of a burden placed upon the child victim by the court in an unbelievably shocking case that's made international headlines. French outlet Le Monde reports that a judge has accepted the public prosecutor's decision to reduce the man's rape charge to sexual assault because the traumatized 11-year-old girl had consented by not putting up a fight. Although the legal age of consent in France is 15, the criminal court of Pontoise has accepted that the girl consented because in this case, there was no violence, no coercion, no threat, no surprise, suggesting that the child had the legal obligation to verbally and physically resist her adult abuser. In short, they concluded that she is partially responsible because she wasn't physically forced by her abuser. She thought it was too late, that she didn't have the right to protest, that it wouldn't make any difference, so she went into autopilot, without emotion and without reaction, the mother told the Mediapart news site. The local confirmed that the girl was pressured into allowing the man to come up to her apartment as he had approached her twice that day in the town of Montmagny. Her family and legal team have told the court that she didn't physically resist because she was paralyzed by fear and unable to defend herself. Still, the court appears to buck legislation which determines that minors under the age of 15 cannot consent to sexual activity no matter how gently their attacker behaves. The Penal Code says that committing a sexual offense against a minor under the age of 15 without violence, constraint, threat or surprise is punished by 5 years imprisonment and a fine of €75,000, $88,182 US. An anonymous expert told French news, Le Figaro, that it is not uncommon for rape victims of any age to switch off their defense mechanisms to mentally escape the abuse. Of course, this is especially true in child victims as they are emotionally unable to handle such abuse. Additionally, rights group La Voix de l'Enfant, which campaigns for the rights of sexually abused minors, explained, the question of consent or its absence should never even be asked when it comes to rape victims who are minors. The trial has been postponed to February 13, 2018, leaving the victim and her family fearing that the court will side with her attacker. This type of legislative twisting is nothing new. However, this particular type of judicial malpractice is being used to not only further the left's agenda to redefine sexual morality but also the acceptance of Islam's Sharia law. By maintaining that a prepubescent child can consent to sex with a man, this sets a precedent for accepting Islamic child marriage, which is legitimized by the Quran and Hadith. Disturbingly, Islamic child marriage is already being accepted in Europe with the justification that it is a cultural and religious belief. Despite Swedish law prohibiting child marriage, immigration officials are allowing Muslim migrant men to remain with their underage brides. We do not accept or condone child marriages, but the law also states that individual trials should be conducted in each case. Our assessment was that the girls could live with their men during the asylum process, Ingrid Hermansen said during the debate with the regional council, as quoted by the local newspaper Blekinge Landstidning. In February 2017, the Administrative Court of Växjö ruled that a pregnant 14-year-old girl would stay with her husband and his family because they adhere to Sharia law. When you are in the midst of war and fleeing for your life, you do not think about the laws in force in the country you're heading to. the girl told the Swedish tabloid newspaper Expressen. By agreeing that laws can be broken when it comes to cultural and religious compulsion, we are insinuating that right and wrong are up for interpretation based on the lawbreaker's beliefs. Of course, this came about with the left's determination that all cultures and religions are equal and that they should be respected and tolerated. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.